Hey guys, it's Rob Forman, Wharton undergraduate class of 2006 and aspiring writer out in Hollywood, California. As of mid-August 2011, I am back at work on Army Wives as the writer's assistant. So this is kind of a status report, or how did I spend my summer vacation, or hiatus as we call it. And as you may recall, I was trying to use the time to get a lot of work done on a young adult novel. And I'm proud to say I managed to write 275 manuscript pages, probably about half of which are usable. That's the wonderful thing about writing, is there are constant rewrites, and as you keep going in any particular story, you will discover new things about your characters and want to, foreshadow to that or lead up to it better or what have you, or just get there quicker in my case. The first 100 pages need to probably be about the first 50 pages. So at least I know that. So when I'm done, because I'm still trying to write to the end and then go back and do all of these rewrites, of course I have notes for what my goals with rewrites are. At least I know that. So I have, hey, all of this stuff that you wrote, make it this big. Writing 275 pages was a lot of work. But it feels really good to have done it and really be in a place where I'm comfortable with the characters. It's one of those interesting things, writing your original material instead of based on a blueprint like a spec script where all of the characters and situations are out there and you're just kind of doing your best version. I needed to figure out how these characters sounded. I needed to personally figure out how to write prose again after 8 years of not doing it and really just focusing on screenwriting. But my challenge right now is to figure out balancing work and trying to finish the book, which is going to be interesting. Like you may recall, I said I finished about 275 manuscript pages over the course of the break, and those are double-spaced. Over the course of the first week at work, I wrote 70 single-spaced pages of notes. The job of the writer's assistant is to sit in a room with all of the writers talking about the storylines and the characters and everything that's going to eventually wind up in outlines and in scripts and on screen. And the job is to get as much of that down as possible in as concise and organized a fashion, so that it's actually useful for the writers when they go off to outline or to write the scripts. They know what we were talking about, they have context, and they have all of the little details in case someone pitched a really excellent line of dialogue or something like that. So my notes can be very detailed, and again, 70 single-spaced pages over the course of 1 week. My hands are a little tired. It wasn't the first thing on my mind going home at night and saying, hey, I'm going to keep typing. But that's just something that I'm going to have to figure out. And I've done it before, just have to figure out forcing myself either in the mornings or, during lunch break or after work, a little bit of time, just keep picking away at it, page by page by page, and eventually get to the end. Which leads me actually to a writing topic that I wanted to mention, which is structure. I'm not talking about structure in your daily life, I'm talking about structure in your stories. Whether you're writing for film or a book in my case, or for television especially, structure is one of the most important things that you're going to be able to get down as a writer. Now, what is structure? It's basically the order of events and kind of the core of what happens in any given scene. When you get into producing, there's something called a one-liner that just has, as it sounds, a one line for any given scene that's being shot on the shooting schedule that day, and it's the core what happens in this scene. So everybody knows this is the general idea of what we're going for. Stories are about change. And even on a scene level, something has to happen. You start one way and you end another. It can be a little change. It could just be a piece of information that comes out that sends your protagonist off in another direction in an investigation or something like that. But change is the basic unit of storytelling, and structure is how we witness that change happening. This is kind of the reason why I need to go back and rewrite the first 100 pages and make them 50 of my book, because when I outlined it, I really outlined the last 3/4 of it, but the first quarter, the introduction, getting to know the main character, was stuff that I just, I kind of explored. And I'm glad I did. But that's not something that anyone is ever going to see in a book, because it's too long, it doesn't quite work. There was no plan. Structure is the plan, it's the blueprint. And everything else is just window dressing, which I realize is a bit of a mixed metaphor, and I apologize for that. Do not use mixed metaphors. For myself, I am a visual person, so I like to use colored index cards, and I lay them out, and they represent either storylines or characters, and it helps me track the progress and just make sure things are making sense and falling in the right place throughout either an entire story or in television throughout an act break. And I'm going to include a couple of examples of that with this vlog. So take a look, and I will see you next time.